Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or are watching the channel for the very first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense because on this platform we discuss everyday issues where we're trying to find logical solutions. But not everyone uses logic. For that reason, it is called uncommon sense. I just want to acknowledge the fact that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And I see that we already gotten 4 likes. And we also have a comment from, excuse me, just give me a moment, from the unknown, which says, the baby boomers have nothing to worry about because their time for worrying is over. They live their lives. Okay, you know what? That's an interesting thought. Um, and of course, the reason why for the comment is regarding tonight's topic, which is what do boomers worry about? I just want to, first of all, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who have subscribed to my channel. I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who allow me to enter into your devices so I can share what little wisdom I have gathered. And I just want to show my appreciation to all those who regularly watch my content. Um, Now, hopefully, other people will watch it live or others will catch it on the playback. Now, I'm going to ask everyone if you have not done so, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification to all. So, therefore, whenever I do go live, you will have an opportunity um, to either catch the content live or catch it on the playback. So, now, before we get into the topic, we're going to have another edition of what the heck it is. And I just want to let everybody know that we're soon approaching the end of season 3. Next week, we will begin season 4. And I intend to provide some more interesting content. Good portion of it educational, some will be spicy, some might be a little controversial, but it's going to be a little bit of everything. So what I'm going to do is let me just set the move out, and then we can get into what I am talking about. Just tonight's episode of What the Heck It Is came from a video that a huge YouTube creator called Dee show. And what she does is she does a lot of reaction videos regarding, a lot of it has to do with women, but also men as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. And basically, what is the situation is that we have a young lady who is tired, who's triggered because she has to work and take care of her bills by herself. So we're going to see, and hopefully just give me a moment. Okay, so here it is.
Hey guys, it's your girl Dee Dee, and welcome or welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing great. Thank you so much for tuning in. So I am back with another video. Now in this video, I want you guys to chime in the comments and let me know what you think. Here's the clip.
But telling me I'm hardworking is not a compliment. I don't want to be here. I work so I could buy, and that's it. That's the only reason why I work. My mom didn't do her job and create generational wealth for me. So now I gotta work. Stop telling me I'm hardworking. I don't like that. Stop being rude. Stop being rude. Stop it. It's giving house in the field. I gotta cook. I gotta clean, and I gotta work. I gotta do my own hair. Jesus, where does it end? Stop putting that in the air. Stop manifesting that for me. Because whoever's listening keeps giving me hard work because y'all keep saying that. I don't want to do it no more. Stop. I don't want to be here. When J. Cole said that she don't want to be saved, he wasn't talking about me. Come get me. Y'all be like, most women don't want to get their hands dirty. It's me. I don't want to get my hands. It's me. Come get me. I don't want to work. I'm tired.
All right, so what do you guys think about what she had to say? Definitely chime in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts on this one. So she's basically saying she don't want to work. She don't want to have to do all of it. She don't.
I got now to the snowflake. Let me stop. Maybe start sharing. Okay. First of all, to the snow. Okay. For the snowflake that's complaining about having to work, you know what? That's what responsible adults do. And I see we have a comment with the one and only Golden Goddess. Good evening. I hope you're doing okay. I hope everything is well with you. Thank you for entering your comments in the chat. Just want to let everybody know that she does have a channel. So, give her channel a look and subscribe. Now, back to the reaction. Here is we have a young lady. Looks like she's like in the like 20s, maybe early 30s, something to that effect. She's having a meltdown because she had to work. That she has to work, that she has to pay her bills, that she has to cook, that she has to clean, and all that stuff. Lady, I got news for you. Every adult does that. Every functional adult with some gray cells do that. And this is the thing that so she's getting triggered because, well, you heard her talking about, well, why didn't they create any wealth for her? Okay, first of all, a parent's job is to prepare a child for life, not for the child to be constantly depending on other people. Yes, Gordon, I'm doing well. Thank you very much. I hope you're doing well. I'm more concerned about you. Okay, I'm not going to get into the why, but we both know why. So thank you very much for your concern. Now, again, as I was saying, every reasonably mature adult, what did they do? They go to work, they pay their bills, they cook, they clean. Well, at least try to cook. Let me put it that way. But they clean and they do things for themselves. Most of us do not need another person to do our own chores. And there was I could have gone on into the commentary, but the fact of the matter is this: the audio, the video speaks for itself, and the fact of the matter is this: And not all women are like this. There are some strong, independent women who are taking care of themselves, who are paying their bills, who are conducting their business correctly, and they're proving that they're able to take care of their own selves. Unfortunately, you have a couple of snowflakes like this lady here, or better yet, this child here, obsessing because she got to cook, she's got to clean, and she's got to work. Okay? None of us are born being the daughter or son of a millionaire. Okay? So all I got to say to this lady, do yourself a favor. Go seek therapy because apparently something's wrong with you, and get a life. And please, no more cringe videos. We got more than enough of that on YouTube. And I see we have a comment. Okay. Which is Merry Christmas, Jose, and in the chat. Are you talking about Christmas in July? I mean, I know that there's some people that do observe that. My understanding, Christmas is usually around December, or other people they celebrate it the 6th of January. Thank you very much. Anyway, so now, without further ado, just give me a moment. We're going to get into the main topic. Hello? Okay, I apologize for that. Um, anyway, it does. Of course, I always seem to have some technical difficulties. Let's see if we can proceed. Uh, okay, we have MK in the chat. Good evening. Yeah, I'm just having some technical difficulties. That's all. No, actually, the technology is fighting with me. And also, we have Don Armando in the chat. And then we have, let's see. You know, that's so funny, Denise. I forgot to laugh. Okay. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get into the topic, which is what do baby boomers worry about? Now, the reason why we're getting into this discussion, first of all, it is a known fact that I am a baby boomer. Also, what's not known that over 50% of my audience is ages 55 to 64. So we have a lot of baby boomers. And of course, the fact of the matter is we are part of a generation that's slowly getting older as we speak. So as we get older, we have a lot of issues. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share an article that I read from Insider. Okay. Let me just read to you what it says. Baby boomers were born in the prosperous years following World War II. As they age, they're now facing financial, health, and economic challenges. Some of the most pressing problems are saving enough for retirement and caring for their elderly parents. Baby boomers, of those born from the 1940 to 1960, grew up in a prosperous post-World War II years. But as they inch closer to retirement, a slew of financial, health, and economic challenges are starting to plague many in the generation. Now, the first challenge that baby boomers have to face is that they expect that they may live longer than previous generations. Though people say that they're happiest when they get older, many baby boomers feel pressure to work longer to support themselves, or if unable to work, are worried about outliving their savings. Another concern that baby boomers have is caring for their aging parents. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not aware, I was the caregiver for both my mother and father when they were alive until they met their fate and they went to be with the Lord. Not only do baby boomers have to think about their own retirement plans, they also have to care for elderly parents, which can be an emotional cost in addition to financial costs. Boomers might be thinking about currently paying their parents' medical bills, nursing home, or live-in nurses, or even considering their parents live as they get older. Now, another concern that baby boomers have is they also need to care for their own care when they get older. Now, what I'm going to do is the following. I see this. Let's see. Just give me a moment. There's 3 people in the chat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link, and I'm going to encourage anyone who wishes to um, voice their opinions on the subject. They can do so. Just as boomers need to make plans for their own parents, they will also need to figure out who will be taken care of then as they get older. They might involve figuring out their plans with their children or saving enough money for medical bills or even a nurse. Now, another issue, um, of course, as baby boomers age, they may have some health issues. The oldest boomers are in their early 70s today, or some current health issues get in the way, of planning for retirement. Boomers will enter the senior years with higher rates of obesity and diabetes and lower rates of good excellent health status, putting significant strain on our healthcare system. A 2016 United Health Foundation study on the health of senior Americans found. Also, another concern is that the cost of healthcare is rising. Not only for some boomers, but are facing health issues, but they're also seeing rising healthcare costs. Healthcare costs have risen significantly more than costs for everything else in the United States over the last several decades. Okay. Another concern is that some baby boomers don't think that their savings will last through retirement. That's a delicate issue because, unfortunately, and I'm going to keep it 100, some baby boomers are not into the habit of saving money for the retirement. And sometimes they're thinking, oh, other people will pick up the slack. And that's not always the case. Now, just 23% of the baby boomers thinks that their savings will last through the retirement. And of course, the unknown says the baby boom with children don't worry about stuff like that. Everyone's different. So I'm not going to say yay, nay. I do know that I'm going to be retiring in a few years. Okay. And they have done a good job preparing for retirement, according to a survey issued by the Retirement Institute, a trade association for retirement interest fund earlier this year. Only 54 had any retirement savings at all, and only 40% had tried to calculate how much money they would need to retire. Now, something they might do is they might work longer. Now, working longer is not a realistic option for everyone approaching retirement age. Mark Aldi, okay. And we have a guest. So I'm going to read the views of those who appear on the panel are not necessarily those of the guest or the channel. Any attempt to copyright the material without the consent of the host of the channel is prohibited. By appearing on the call, you waive your rights to your interest in the channel. Those who appear under the influence of alcohol or drugs will be removed from the panel. If you don't like the content, you can come off the channel. Hopefully this person is not a troll. If it is, he will be removed.
What's up,
Good
bro?
evening. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Okay.
Yeah, so
nowadays,
yeah, I was like, I just had to go and make a funny name and everything like that. Not really a troll, but it is what it is.
I understand.
But
yeah,
but my own thing about the subject is that I could say I can't really speak on it because my parents were, I guess, considered the last generation and such. But I have seen friends that have taken care of their parents during the last days and such, and they were boomers. So I could say that some people they still stick to the old values, and certain people
Mhm.
they don't. So that's from me looking outside.
Okay. Now I'm gonna share a comment, which is you should retire now. There's no point. You should be working when you got people young and ready to take that position. Okay. This gets a little touchy. Now I know there's going to become a time when I'm going to retire. The problem I have when people are trying to dictate to me when to retire because they don't know of my individual situation. So, what's your thoughts on the topic?
Well, the thing is though that certain people they want people to retire, but then when they actually try to do what their predecessors did, either they lack the skills or they lack the experience on how to tackle that situation.
Okay, but you know something, Macho the Last Idiot. That's been a topic that I've shared with certain millennials. Okay, and basically the response is, "Oh, I need to retire now. That young people can be doing my spot." Okay, but the fact of the matter is this: I know that I need to. There will come a time when I have to retire, and I will retire. The thing is, it's going to be I'm going to make the determination. And of course, the unknown says, "You're mad about people telling you to leave the door for younger people." No, I'm not. That's not my issue. My issue is when other people try to dictate what I should do. That's where I have a problem. Okay, I think everyone should have the freedom to exercise their choices and what have you. Okay, and now we have a couple of comments. We have someone named Antonio Quellos. Hi, good evening. And then MK says, unknown is kind of right, Jose. Okay, MK, I know that sooner or later I'm gonna retire. Okay, I understand that. The problem is, and again, and let me make this perfectly clear. But you're constantly saying, "I need to retire. I need to retire. I need to retire." It's not exactly giving me the proper motivation to retire. Okay, I will retire. It's going to be on my own terms. Okay. And okay, actually, okay. First of all, let's not go and make any crazy comments because look, I can understand what MK is saying, okay, and I think he's saying it not to be me, uh, and I do understand his perspective because as a millennial or Gen Z person, okay. Of course, MK says, but who's dictating that? You are at the age when you should pass the torch. Okay. I got a question, MK. How do we determine the age? Okay. How do we make that determination? That is my question. Okay. Because realistically, in order to get Social Security, you need to be 62. Okay. Uh, there are people who are able to retire before that age. All I'm saying, again, all I'm saying is the following: I will retire. The person that's going to make that determination, his name is Jose Negron. Okay, that is all I am saying. And I think, okay, this is my, okay. So he says quality life and expectancy. Okay. Well, okay. Well, I look at myself in this fashion. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be 60 years old in slightly 2 months, in slightly more than 2 months. Okay. Physically, I'm in reasonably good shape. I don't have a physically taxing job. Okay. So I can continue working for a few years. Okay. Will I retire? Of course I will retire. So, but again, I think we do have to respect. There's a thing called individual choice. And Antonio Quill says you look healthy, man. You look like you can be a host of a travel channel. Well, thank you very much. Don Armando, what's your take in all this?
I mean, when people are trying to dictate on your skill level and everything, or oh, we need fresh new bloods and everything like that. From our lunch together and everything like that, I still think that you're a viable asset to what you do as your profession. And from you and I, when we had our conversation over on lunch or dinner, I could actually say that your organization still needs you. And there's not a lot of people who are like my age range that can do what you can do. They need a lot of experience to do what you do, sir.
Okay. I just want to address a point that the unknown says was, um, ain't no point wasting your words because a lot of baby boomers know it all and want to hold on to responsible, but won't give the space to show that. Okay. With all due respect, I know that there have been some baby boomers that have been selfish, irresponsible. Um, they don't want to give up their so-called power, so to speak. I'm not one of those baby boomers. Okay. And to be perfectly honest, one thing I don't get a chance to do is to share my knowledge with the younger generation. And I think something that gets lost in all this. Every generation from the first human beings, they learn from the previous generation. Okay, whether it be millions of years ago with the caveman, or if you believe in the biblical account in Genesis, or what have you. It's always been that the current generation, well, hopefully they will learn properly from the previous generation. That is a fact. And I do realize I have to step aside. And I do have to make, but it's going to be again on my terms. I mean, I don't understand why is it that when we're talking about my choice, my choice, my choice, and then certain people want to dictate to others what they should do and what they should not do. I don't get it. Don Armando?
I mean, I'll say I say in the case of a friend of mine's, right, that was working a federal job. You have certain people who are of your age group, Jose,
Yeah.
that, that just like the unknown
Hmm.
actually said that there's some of them that actually don't want to give up their power, or they don't want to train somebody new, so therefore they could give up their power. So therefore, I guess there's like a struggle between who are now considered Gen Xers and millennials, and then your generation, which are the boomers. So from my Facebook interactions with people and everything, they always say, "Oh, the boomers were like the most hypocritical generation," or "the boomers this, the boomers that." And to me, I mean, when you want to go and try to classify people who are born like in a certain time and they had certain customs that they followed. You can't go around and say, "Oh yeah, all these boomers thinks this, all these boomers that," but yet the next generation, we know it all. We know it all more than the boomers. My thing is that between the generations and everything, we have to go and go back and try to respect our elders. So therefore, we won't go and make the same mistakes that they have did in the past. So that's my take on it.
Yeah. And and one thing that the younger generations, which I hope will one day understand, they're going to be dealing with the same dilemmas we are facing now. First of all, okay, first of all, we are in a sense transitioning from going from one stage of life where we spent like a good 30, 40 years working into the senior years. Okay. And sometimes people struggle because they used to a routine where they get up every morning, they go to work, they do what they have to do. So for some people who have retired, it's a it, no it, it's a rocky transition. And unfortunately, I wish some of the younger people will understand that. Okay. And again, I know that I cannot continue to work. I have to retire. Okay. But it's going to be me that's going to make the choice. And if anybody disagrees, they're more than welcome to to hit the link and join the panel and explain to me why I'm being wrong, why I'm wrong, why I'm delusional, or whatnot. Now another issue, like I said, another issue is transitioning uh, from active life to retired life. I mean, because and this is important that as you approach the years that you're going to retire, you need to start thinking about what you're going to do in your retired life. You need to have some sort of a structure. You need to have something that you need to do. Okay. Now I do have a couple of things planned when I retire. One of them, I plan to study to become a deacon. Another one is go visit patients in the hospitals because sometimes, they can go weeks or months without a visitation. I know for one thing, as a retiree, I'm going to be active with the union for retirees. So I do plan to leave an active retirement, and I know that for a fact. Depending on my situation, I will look to be either 70 or 80 years old. Don Armando.
Well, I guess with I guess the retirement, what people have to do with retirement and everything. I guess try to enjoy it the best you can because you have to I guess make that structure when a person does retire, and maybe you could do something that you've been wanting to do for a long time. That now, since you have the time, no more work stress, no more deadlines, whatever the case may be,
Yeah,
you could actually focus on the hobby that makes you happy.
I agree. Now, in all fairness, we also have a lot of health issues that become more acute as we get older. One of them is arthritis. Um, you know, um, you know, and that's a disease that affects many of us as we get older. I have had knee replacements done on both knees. So, that is, and if you combine being obese, that makes it worse because what you're doing is you're putting a lot of strain on your knees. Another concern is type 2 diabetes, because unfortunately, as people get older, um, they become less active, which increases the risk of getting developing type 2 diabetes. Another health concern that we have to deal with is heart disease. And I'm just going to read what it says. Heart disease is linked to advancing age, meaning that baby boomers are more likely to have heart diseases than younger generations. Not surprising, the older baby boomers are now in the mid 60s to early 70s, have high prevalences to cardiovascular disease, with more than 70% of men and women suffering from the condition. The younger baby boomers still have high rates of heart disease, with men becoming more likely to have it than women. Okay. Another issue is high blood pressure. Like high blood pressure, uh, heart disease, high blood pressure, and I see we have James Maps on the chat. Good evening, sir. Thank you very much for making your presence known. Okay. So, excuse me. Cardiovascular disease experts recently updated the guidelines for healthy blood pressure, lowering the threshold by 10 points. Normal blood pressure is now considered less than 120 over 80. That means more people have moved into the category of having high blood pressure, and baby boomers are more likely to have it. Okay. Now, another health issue, is cancer. And of course, we have, okay. Cancer is the most common among elderly population, and as far as baby boomers, if more babies reach the age beyond the senior years, the risk of cancer increases. With advances in cancer detection and treatment, more people will cure of cancer than have survived in the past. Especially if you're not at high risk for cancer, be sure to complete up your screenings that your doctor recommends so you'll have the best chance to catch the disease in the early stages. Okay. Thank you very much, Hazel, for stopping by. Okay. Another issue that we have to deal with is obesity, which is, of course, the battle of the bulge. Okay. Baby boomers have a higher risk of obesity than the parents' generation. It is likely due to a decreased level of physical activity, which is far less than experts advise. People who are obese are at greater risk of disability due to chronic diseases. Obesity can cause diabetes, heart disease, and arthritis. Okay. Another issue is hepatitis C. Baby boomers are about 5 times more likely to be infected with hepatitis C virus than the rest of the U.S. population. They account for about 75% of the people currently infected with the disease. Because of this, the Center of Disease Control and Prevention recommends that people in the baby boomer generation get a screening for hepatitis C. There is no vaccine for hepatitis C, but there's some antiviral drugs which are effective in curing the disease. Okay. So, what's your observations? Okay, Don Armando, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was just having a little technical difficulty. I'm there.
Oh, okay, so you're not the only one. Okay. I'm surprised Denise has not mentioned any comments about the Wi-Fi.
Right.
But
I
that's
mean,
yeah.
I mean, as far as the health risk between that, what a lot of people don't understand that there's a lot of people who are Gen Xers and millennials who are actually suffering from those ailments right now.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, but it's true.
Yeah. So you see, there's a lot of the fact of the matter is, and I'm gonna, you know what, and I'm gonna keep it, 100. Part of the reason why baby boomers don't retire is they're scared. I'm gonna keep it, and the reason why they're scared, um, because they're thinking about what they're gonna do or not do. So, I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses for anybody, but I think the key is we need to be realistic. Excuse me. We need to be realistic as far as, first of all, we have to acknowledge the fact that that we need to retire. Okay. Even if you're physically able to work past 70, um, after a while it does take its toll. So, and believe me, when it's my time to retire, I am going to retire. Now, this thing about that the younger generations um, cannot find work because we don't want to retire, I think it's kind of short-sighted on and actually putting the blame on the baby boomers. What you think about it, Don Armando?
To me, everybody wants to claim the blame and everything like that, but then when you actually look at the job dynamics and everything like that, I mean, it has changed. And then I don't know about your era, but I guess it's now more cutthroat than ever to even keep a job in this day and age. So a lot of people could say they could blame the boomers, and I could say it could be partly true because certain people want to hold on to their seniority or just build their 401k for one more year or so. And the other part is that I guess people my generation is such that I guess they didn't want to mention boomer everything because they're like, yo, you're putting the threat to when we get old. So therefore, there's that factor also.
Yeah.
So boomers are not the only ones afraid. You got people like around my generation, the millennials and Gen Xers. They're actually afraid as well because they don't know what their future's going to hold. Like when they get to their 50s and so on. I mean,
Yeah, you know, and one thing that we all need to understand, which is the following. Okay, what the what the millennials are going through is nothing new. What's new is that you have social media, so everybody knows what's going on. Okay, millennials are worried about getting job, being responsible, getting jobs, paying their bills, trying to do better for themselves. Well, guess what? That was our concern 30 years ago. Okay, the difference is when we were at the age of the millennials and the Gen Z people, we
right,
didn't have social media.
right.
So we didn't have social media. The phone hung on the wall,
Mhm.
and if you wanted to look up anything, you have to find an encyclopedia, which was a whole collection of books.
Right.
Nowadays, virtually everybody has at least one smartphone, and with that phone, you can do you can go into Google, you can do research, you can get on the internet, you can do 55 million things. Okay, so that's the difference. But the issues that the millennials and the Gen Z people, I mean, we had dealt with those same issues when we were their ages. And in fact, last year I did a stream with Denise, um, regarding the millennials and the baby boomers. And I think part of the problem is we don't understand each other.
Yes, we don't.
Okay. And I can and I and to be perfectly honest, I see it with quite a few of the millennials and the Gen Z people. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not. What I'm saying is there's a lot of millennials, Gen Z people. They are, you know, they are prosper. They're doing well. They're intelligent. They're industrious. They're working hard. They're being responsible and what have you. But just like their baby boomers were bad apples, there are millennial Gen Z people who are bad apples. So let's keep it 100.
Yes. I mean, it's the bad apples, unfortunately, that I guess that makes a lot of that make a lot of bad decisions, and I guess that causes confusion within generations, I believe. Because
Hmm.
it's like, for example, I can't really hang with my brother or anything like that because we don't understand each other because we're two different generations.
Hmm.
So it's not like I have like, even though that's my older brother and everything, can't really hang out like that because we don't really understand each other.
Hmm. Yeah.
The same accordance with certain people too.
Yeah.
It's to the point that you can't really hang with a person if you don't understand their customs or was raised with them. And that's why I guess
All
we
right.
have like so much disrespect within our society now.
Yeah. I agree. And and I'm sorry, but blaming the baby boomers because
it's not gonna change things.
no, it's not. And I hear this quite a bit that we're preventing the younger generation to get jobs. Explain that. You know,
All
I mean, I would love it if someone would explain it to me. I mean, first of all, in my case, when I went to college. Okay, unfortunately, I could not get a job in the field that I studied, so I got a job somewhere else. I mean, let's keep it 1,000. Sometimes people make the wrong choices when it comes to an education and pursuing a career. So I don't understand why it is the baby boomers' fault when that happens.
right. Well, in the case of my friend, right? Not in my case, but just in the case of my friend, you
Okay.
have remember that we just said that there are some bad apples in your generation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the bad apples within your generation are the ones who are preventing, I guess, the Gen Xers and the millennials and after the millennials from getting a job because certain people they want to hold on to the seniority. And then you got certain people that they don't want nobody into their circle or whatever the case may be. So they're like, okay, you know what? We've had so much years within this company. We have a lot of pull. So therefore we're gonna make your life harder because, just because we can. I'm talking about the boomers that that really have no sense and they really have no compassion or professional etiquette towards a person who is younger or or is more skilled. So therefore, they think that they know it all, and they were like, "We're going to make your life miserable, so therefore we could maintain our positions until we're millionaires, whatever the case may be." So it's actually in certain places, certain professional spaces that's is actually happening, and that's where we have the discussion of that the boomers is not letting my generation work or anything like that because you have certain, just like you said, you have some of these boomers who are scared. So the little power that they have, they're going to use it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you see, to be perfectly honest, if we if we share with the younger generation our experience and our knowledge and our skills, what we're doing is we helping them to avoid the mistakes that baby boomers have made. And actually, in the long run, it's a better reflection on the baby boomers if we actually take the time to share our knowledge with them, given an opportunity for them to do what they can. They got to fail just like everybody else. But if we look at it this way, okay, like for example, you come to my job. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let you know as much as I can what the job is, what we do, and then I will pass my knowledge on to you. And then to the point when you're able to do the job, not only do the job as well as I do, you might be able to do the job better than I can.
Right. And that's how it should be. But then
Yeah.
certain bad apples within the generations, they don't see it like that. So, and that's why we have this, how should I say? I can't really say confusion, but I could say it's just generations that are against each other just because they do not or they don't have a mutual understanding of each other.
Hmm. Yeah. And I think it's more that they don't understand each other. I think that's the issue. And I have to say this again. Um, the issues that they're going through, the people of my generation has dealt with it 30, 40 years ago. One of the key differences is that with social media, everything is instantly made known. And okay, I admit, some of the people in my generation is not as tech savvy as the millennials and the Gen Z people. Okay, I can understand that. Okay, but
Right.
making fun of us because we're not tech savvy, that's not gonna make us tech savvy.
No,
Okay,
exactly.
and yeah, exactly. And just thinking that this rush, you know, to put the, to put, to put the people of my generation aside. I mean, in some ways, it's somewhat disrespectful.
It is. I actually agree with that.
Okay. Unfortunately, if I share that with certain individuals, it's like I'm being too sensitive. And it's like, how am I being too sensitive? Okay. Okay, grant you. I grant you. So, we have baby boomers who really missed the ball in many ways. I'll grant you that. And I also grant you the fact that baby boomers are not always the most technically advanced people when it comes to technology. I'll grant you that. And I'll grant you the fact that sometimes it takes us longer to adapt to change. Okay, fine. But this rush to put us aside simply because we reached 60? People, please make it make sense. Okay? And also that the younger generation could work. I got news for you. You can get rid of all the baby boomers, but a lot of the problems are still going to remain. It's just unfortunate you have certain people who love to make scapegoats of the baby boomers. But if we make scapegoats on the millennials or the Gen Z people, we're wrong. We're Karens. All I gotta say is, please make it make sense.
I mean, when it goes to scapegoating and everything like that, nothing really ever makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
even in politics, yeah, you have like the whole thing. I was think okay before the election and stuff. We was like, all right. I actually thought I was the impression of being Generation Y because it was Generation X, and then I thought it was Generation Y. It was in 2016. I found out I was a millennial.
hmm
I'm like okay, how did that happen? So and now they're considering, I guess, the younger generation from us millennials. I forgot what they called them because I saw a chart on it and I didn't
okay,
even.
actually, there's Generation Z. Those are people that basically in the 20s, and then the
Right.
following and then following generation is Alpha. Basically, anyone born around the 2010s.
Yeah, because I was actually under the impression when I was growing up, I was supposed to be Generation Y until
Mhm.
until 2016. They say you're a millennial.
Yeah.
I'm an old millennial, but
Well, according to some people, uh, you're you're middle age.
yeah,
Okay. Now, okay. Now the millennials, they're people between okay, one between 1981 and 1995. Generation Z people of those that were born between 1996 and 2010. And then the Alpha generation, those are the ones that were born between 2011 and now. So those are the generations. The baby boomers, those are the people that were born from 1946 to 1964. The previous generation, which was my parents' generation, the son of generation, that's from 1928 to 1945.
yeah.
And not,
That's where my parents generation the silent generation.
yeah, yeah. And I just want to let everybody know, you're more than what. Okay, I know that maybe some people are not interested in the topic, but if you do have a comment, or you do have opinion, or you want to, or you're stating, or you believe what I'm saying is incorrect, you have an opportunity to click on the link, join the panel, and you can explain with facts why I don't know what I'm talking about, or maybe you will want to agree. All I'm saying is that baby boomers, we do have our concerns, and we do have issues. Part of it is the fear of retiring. I'm going to keep it real, because they cannot see anything past their jobs, and there is a life after work. Okay, there will be a time when I'm no longer going to be getting up in the morning to go to work and have to deal with the office politics involved. There's going to be a time when I, as a union rep, will have to pass the baton to someone else and let some other young people who are more energetic, who have a bigger zeal, um, take over. I do understand that. I do appreciate that. I will retire. Okay. Again, it's going to be at my discretion. It's going to be at the discretion of Jose Negron. Okay. And believe me, when I do retire, I plan to go out in style and hopefully I'll have the biggest retirement party ever. So
As you should.
yes. Have you given any thoughts about what's going to happen to you when you get to be my age or older?
Well, I have, but I'm just trying to pray to God that I do make it to that age because it's rough. I've
Yeah.
seen people in my age bracket that they passed from a lot of stuff, including the COVID. So it's
Yeah.
it's actually rough.
Okay. Well, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the average life expectancy for a male is 76.1 years, and for women, 81.1.
Yeah,
And I think, okay, and I think part of the reason why our life expectancy uh, is shorter has to do with the pressures that we are under. First of all, in our society, we're taught we're not supposed to cry, we're not supposed to have emotions, Um, we have to deal with stressful environments.
Yeah.
Sometimes we make poor choices when it comes to dating and marriage.
I mean, yeah, I've made poor choices in the dating realm, and I paid
Okay.
for it dearly.
Yeah. Okay. I know I made some poor choices myself. I'm not gonna lie. Um, and then when and then when you think about it, how when marriages end and how things are so twisted in favor of women in the court when it comes to things like spousal support, child support, and most of the time women initiate the divorce.
Yeah,
So so it's understandable why our life expectancy is shorter because we got to deal with a lot of issues. Um, and again, like I stated before, we're supposed to be tougher. And we're not supposed to cry. And heaven forbid if if we confess that we have an emotional problem, because then we will be crucified.
oh yes, that's the truth.
Yeah,
It's to the point that certain people will try to gaslight your problem into making it and try to blow it out of proportion to what it really is.
yeah,
Oh, don't go around and tell a person that you're having mental issues. They'll crucify you in the court of law with that,
yeah. I mean,
and then
take a
take
look.
it to
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad, but it's true. It's sad, but it's true. Well, it
yeah.
looks like no one else is going to join the panel. Um, and I'm gonna be, and I'm gonna be perfectly honest. This call-in show was, I thought about doing it like maybe 2 3 days ago.
Right.
Um, because we are getting to the end of season 3, so I wanted to have a topic geared to the baby boomers.
Got you.
Now we are going to have a topic next week, and the topic is going to be how you define middle age,
Right.
because you know what it is. We have different conceptions. What is middle age?
Yeah.
I mean, to some people, if you're 35, that's middle age. If you're 40,
Yeah.
you're middle age, and that's based on the life expectancy um, of people in the United States. So, of course, tomorrow stream will be um, a little spicier because we're going to be talking about um, what was the circumstances that we lost our virginity.
Um,
So,
I might
so
I
that's
might
going to be
tune into
interesting.
that.
Okay. Well, first of all, let me make this perfectly clear. No one is obligated to share their story. It's just that um, I wanted to end um, the season with with something a little bit more spicy, but keep it respectable. So what
Got
we're
you.
gonna do, yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start to take final remarks. So first of all, I just want to thank the unknown, MK, James Maps, Denise, Hazel, and let's see, there's another person called Altanel Cuero, um, for their comments in the chat. So I'm gonna ask. So I'm gonna be taking final words from you, the apostle of Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Well, it's actually the opposite of Tom Cruise.
Oh,
Well,
okay, sorry.
um, the well, I think it was a good topic for tonight. I mean, it's um, it's questions that needed to be asked, and we actually shared viewpoints on certain stuff that you didn't know, and there's certain stuff that I didn't know, and it was actual great feedback on two different generations and how they view things.
Yeah, I agree, and I think you know, and I do appreciate the interaction. Anything else you wish to add?
I think we need to communicate so that, I mean, as far as generations, so therefore we could have a better understanding with each other, because that's what we actually lack right now. We actually lack generational understanding. Maybe it could be due to technology, other people's views, but if my generation learn more from your generation and vice versa, and we have like positive feedback, I think we could move forward positively in the things that we both can do. I'm talking about as goals. We could both achieve our goals in the long run.
Yeah, I agree. And well, thank you very much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in the backstage. If you can stay, that'll be great. If not, hopefully I'll check you, you know, in the near future. So I'm going to put you in the backstage.
All right.
Okay. Now I'm going to give you my final words. Now I know that this topic was not exactly among my top 20, top whatever, and and I do appreciate everyone's point of view, even with the view that I should retire now. All I'm trying to do is bring to light the issues that baby boomers have. Okay, and the fact of the matter is, we do face a lot of issues, and then other issues that we face, but scapegoating us is not the solution. Shaming us to retire before our time is not the solution either. What is the solution is to recognize the fact, okay, we may not agree on many things in our respective generations, but as long as we have open dialogue, we can learn from each other and make the transition from active working life to retirement to be smoother. Because the fact of the matter is, we are going to get old, and we all have to make good choices on how we spend the last years of our lives. So I just want to let everybody know that I will be live tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and the topic will be how did you lose your virginity? So I'm going to be sharing my personal experience. Hope other people will. Well, we'll let everybody know that this topic is for mature audience. I ask people who are under 21, please do not participate or watch the stream. So that being said, I'm going to close the same way that I always close. Do not let the errors of the past damage your future. And we must do everything possible to minimize our contact with the mentally and intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by their stupidity and massive insanity. That being said, this has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. And I wish everyone a good night and peace.
Be strong.